grab a seat. I don't know if I said this earlier. My name is Bryce. If I haven't met you, I'd love to meet you. Come introduce yourself sometime. I don't know. I might have said that earlier, but if I didn't, my name is Bryce. Love to meet you. Yeah, you said, like, I was talking to those guys over there. They said they only have 4 more days or something of school, but most of you under a week. That's awesome. Love that, because summer's the best time of the year, right? No school, lots of fun. It's nice outside, except for tonight. It was like really nice earlier today, and then it got all like rainy. I don't think it actually rained. Did it rain? It did? It did rain. Never mind. It did rain. But it didn't rain. Well, maybe it rained some areas, not some other areas. That is known to happen. But I don't know. It got all rainy and nasty out, but it was nice earlier. Hopefully it'll be nice again soon. I like the nice weather. But, guys, tonight we are talking about, normally if you've been here at Garage, we get into series and we'll talk about like the same topic for like a couple weeks, about like different parts of the same topic. But May is kind of like just a weird month. We got all kinds of crazy things going on. So we're doing a little bit more of just like individual standalone things. And tonight we are talking about how to have the best summer ever, okay? It's almost summer, right? 5, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days till summer for most of you guys. So tonight, we're just gonna take a little bit of time and talk about how to have the best summer ever of your life. Because when I was thinking back over my years of summer, I was thinking like, man, I love summer. It's the best time of the year. There's so much fun things going on. And I was thinking about like some of the best summers, and there's definitely like when I think back, there's some years where like, oh, that was like a really good summer, and then some where you're like, yeah, that was a summer, you know? Like maybe like during COVID, it was like, that summer kind of sucked because I couldn't do anything fun or something like that. But then you have other years where you're like, man, that summer was awesome. Like I did all kinds of crazy things. It was great. And I was thinking through some of my summers, and some of them, I'm like, I don't even really remember the summer between like 5th grade and 6th grade, so I guess I didn't do anything that cool. I can't remember it. But then I was thinking in the summer before my 8th grade year, when I was in middle school, was really, really good. Like it was probably one of my favorite summers. And I was thinking through it, and I was like, oh, what made that summer so much fun? Like I went to Waterworld a couple times, I think, which was awesome. I was talking to someone earlier who told me they have a Waterworld like season pass, which I didn't even know was a thing, but that means they get to go to Waterworld like every day, which is sweet. So that was really fun. And then I remember I went to like this summer camp at church. That was really cool because summer camps can be a lot of fun. Kind of like the one we were talking about, but a little bit different. I went to one of those that summer, and it was just a blast. I remember just having a ton of fun playing night games and doing all kinds of crazy things there. And then I just remember literally like every day of the summer, I was hanging out with my friends. I was either with my school friends, and we'd be going over to each other's houses and having like sleepovers and Nerf wars and playing basketball and doing stuff like that. Or if I wasn't hanging out with my friends from school, I was hanging out with like my neighborhood friends, right? Because I had my friends from school, but then I lived like not that close to my school. So I had a bunch of friends in my neighborhood too. There was like a couple of dudes who were like my age, and then there was like, you know, as any neighborhood, there's like kids who are like way younger than you, way older. It's like just a big mix. And pretty much I remember every single day we would get up, and it'd be like, I don't know, I'd get up at like 9 a.m. I kind of woke up like semi-early, I feel like. And we'd get up at like 9 a.m. and we would just walk outside, and me and like all the neighbors would be out there, and we would just go and just hang out like literally all day. We would go play basketball at one of our houses. We'd go play like video games at someone's house. What we would do a lot of times is I would longboard because I can't skateboard because I'm not like athletically gifted. And to skateboard takes like a lot of talent. There's a lot of balance involved. Longboarding though, on the other hand, you just stand there and you just kind of just like kick, and then you just stand there. It's super easy. So I would longboard, they would skateboard, and we would go to Sonic because it was like, I don't know, a couple miles from our house. So we'd go down to Sonic, and then there was like this frozen yogurt place right next to it, and we would do that like every day. We would just go hang out. Sometimes we'd go to Wendy's, whatever it was. We were just hanging out all summer long, and I look back and I'm like, dang, that was a really good summer. That's a summer that I remember, and I'm like, yeah, that was fun. If every summer was like that summer, that would be pretty awesome, right? But then you look back at other summers and you're like, what did I do this summer? I kind of sat at home and did nothing, and I didn't really hang out with anyone, and I don't really remember the summer at all. And it's like, oh, that was like last year and I already forgot it, right? So some summers are great, some are not great. But I think we can all agree, if you had to pick between, do I want to have a good summer and do I want to have a bad summer, I would guess all of you would vote, I want to have a good summer. And if you wouldn't, then you're crazy, and maybe you should figure that out. But my guess is that all of you want to have a great summer. So I was thinking about that and I was like, okay, how can I help people have a great summer? Because that's what we all want, right? If we all want that same goal, because, summer only comes around once a year and we got to make the best of it. What are some tips to have the best summer ever? That's what I started thinking about. And I came up with my 5 best tips to have a great summer based on my knowledge of when I lived as a middle schooler and had summers, and based on this thing called the Bible and some truths that I see in there about what it says are some really good things for us. So basically, I'm going to give you guys 5 tips to have a great summer ever, best summer ever, and you could hate them and just ignore them, and that's fine, whatever. But I think you should at least consider them and think about, oh, maybe that's a good idea. Some of them are kind of funnier. Some of them are more serious. They all have a very serious element to them, but they're also kind of like silly for a little bit. So just bear with me. We're going to go through these 5 things that I think could make your summer great. And they're all based in some biblical truth as well as some experience and some just general knowledge. I read some books every now and then, and sometimes they've got some good stuff in them. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes books are cool. Sometimes they're boring. So it just depends. But I've got some stuff, some tips I want to share with you guys about how I think you could have the best summer ever. So I hope that it works and you have them. So number 1, okay, here's the first tip. Okay, this one is very important. Okay, number 1 is touch grass. Okay, you ever heard this? Have you ever heard this? There's some kids, I've heard this as like a thing. Okay. You good over there, bro? Okay, so touch grass. Here's what I mean. Bear with me, okay? Basically, bring it in over there. You guys are losing it. You're losing it. So what this one means, okay? It means go outside. Enjoy the world, right? People will tell this to I think it's this is like a meme or something, right? No. TikTok? Is it a TikTok? I feel like I've heard this. It's a what? Brain rot. Okay, it's brain rot. Perfect. Yeah, no, go outside and just touch the grass. I don't mean to literally just go outside and touch the grass. There's more to it than that. So to get to what I mean by it, we're going to check out this verse that comes from Psalms 19. Okay, we're going to read this, and then we'll go back and we'll talk about what I mean by touch grass. Okay, you can throw up Psalm 19:1 there. Okay, if you've never been here before, what we do is when we get to a yellow word, you guys scream it out so I can take a little break because reading is hard. So when we get to the yellow word, you guys read that for me. Here we go. It says, Psalms 19. Psalms is a book that is full of a lot of poetry and just different things. A lot of it's written by this guy named David, but we're going to look at a couple of different Psalms tonight. So this is the first one. It says, the heavens declare the glory of... Nice reading. Good job. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day, they pour forth speech. Night after night, they reveal knowledge. So what this is talking about, he's saying, when he's talking about the heavens and the skies, he's saying nature. He's saying nature declares God, right? If you look outside and you look at nature, it declares God. It speaks to who God is. It talks about how powerful and mighty God is, right? You see the mountains and you're in awe by how impressive they are and how huge they are and how crazy God is, right? So being in nature helps us connect with God. So when I say that a tip for summer is to touch grass, what I mean is go outside, be in nature, go outside. We live in one of the most beautiful states in America, right? If you walk outside on about 9 out of 10 days, if you look that way, you'll see the mountains, and they're huge and they're awesome. And maybe if you have a parent who is able to take you to the mountains every now and then, you can go over to them and they're even more awesome once you get in them, right? They're incredible. They're so cool. So get outside, do some stuff outside, right? Whether it's literally just going to your backyard and you could just go and sit in the grass. That's a very real option. That could be fun. Not only is going outside really cool because you can start to experience God, but it is also really, really healthy for you, for your mental health and for your physical health, to just go outside because the sun gives you this thing called vitamin D. And when you get vitamin D, you become happier, okay? I don't know the science and all that stuff because I'm not a scientist. My friend Jenna probably knows more about that. She's kind of a scientist-ish, science-related. She could probably tell you more about it. But basically, when you're outside and you're in the sun, it is really good for you. It is really good to soak up some vitamin D. And the summer in Colorado is beautiful. It's so nice outside. There's the pool. Some of you guys said you're going to a pool party. You could do anything outside. So find something you like to do outside. It could literally just be sitting in your backyard reading a book. But just instead of sitting inside reading the book, go sit outside and read the book. Or go sit outside and play with your dog. I don't know, whatever you do, just do it outside. Because okay, we're back. Okay, so number 2, limit screen time, okay? And I said, I promise I'm not a boomer, okay? I like to go on my phone too. Instagram Reels are funny, I get it. And video games are fun, I know. But I'm telling you, this one is important, and what limit means can be different for different people, right? Maybe you really like movies, so obviously you're gonna watch more movies than somebody who doesn't like movies. But this one is important for a couple of reasons, and we're going to read the verse and then talk a little more about it, because I think once you understand the verse that I'm coming from, you'll understand what I mean by limit screen time. So this verse is also from Psalms, and it is super simple, okay? It is Psalms 46, verse 10. It's really short because we're not doing all of it. Here it is. It says, "Be still and know that I am..." Guys, over here, you guys all missed it. We're going to try again. "Be still and know that I am..." Nice, nice. "Be still and know that I'm God," okay? So this guy, David, is writing about how to connect with God. And he says that something that he thinks God has said to him is to just be still and know that I'm God, right? Sometimes in life gets crazy and busy, as you all know, being in school and sports and band and orchestra and whatever, all the things you do. I know you all do like a million things, or maybe you don't do a million things. Either way, life gets really busy, and sometimes it's really easy to just kind of forget that God is there. So he's saying, just slow down and be still and know that I'm God. Be still and connect with God. And something to do that is that you have to like actually truly be still. And to be still means you can't have distractions. So sometimes that means just, putting your phone or your iPad or your Nintendo Switch or whatever it is away for just a few minutes, to just be like, all right, I'm just going to put that away and just chill for a minute, okay? I'm going to be still and know that God is there. I'm going to just take some time away from that. And there's a whole bunch of other reasons that you should like limit your screen time, because in the summer, sometimes we get bored and it's so easy to just get like stuck there scrolling. I know. Or like YouTube. YouTube is dangerous because you'll be like watching a video and then it's like, oh, recommended video. And next thing you know, you've been watching like 3 hours of videos about how microwaves were invented, and you have no need to know why microwaves were invented. But I get it. I know that I've done that. I watch YouTube videos and I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. And then it's like an hour has passed and I'm like, this was stupid. I did nothing with my time. So limit your screen time. I promise you, you'll have more fun this summer if you don't spend it all watching TikTok or Reels or YouTube. Like, watch some, sure, do what you got to do, but just don't spend all your time doing that. And like, seriously, like social media can be so dangerous. It can be so fun, right? Because, TikTok videos, Instagram videos, they're so funny, and getting to see your friends is kind of cool. But it can also be so bad for you. This is like some of the like books I read. I was reading this book, and they studied like teenagers, and they studied youth that are growing up, right? And they studied them from like 2015, 2010, all the way to like more recently. And they see like a lot of trends and stuff, and they like track all this statistics, really boring stuff. But something that you can see is that back in 2015, over 60% of students surveyed. So they surveyed like 8th graders and like a couple of freshmen and then some other middle schoolers. They surveyed these students, and over 60% of them on this like response said, I'm satisfied with myself, right? If they said, are you like satisfied with yourself, or are you not satisfied with yourself? Over 60% in 2015, so 10 years ago, said, yes, I'm satisfied with myself. And then they kept doing that survey every single year. And by 2021, because that was the most up-to-date stuff I could find, the percent had dropped all the way to below 40%. So less than 40% of people said they were satisfied with themselves. And that the belief is that trend continued to go down, and probably now it's below 30%. And the reason that they say is because on social media, you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, and you think that you're not good enough, right? They say that it hits girls way worse. They say that of all the people who are affected by social media, nobody has a more negative effect from it than middle school girls, right? They say it hits middle school girls hardest of anyone in the whole world. Middle school girls are who gets hurt the most by social media, because you get told that you're not good enough and that you're comparing yourself to these other people and you're just not satisfied with yourself. So seriously, it'll cause anxiety and depression. So maybe just
dial back your use just a little bit over the summer, right? Because it's really easy when you've got all summer free to just be like, oh, I'm just going to scroll on TikTok for 4 hours. I get it. I've done that. I've been there. But my challenge to you is just limit that, and it'll improve your summer significantly. Okay, moving on. Number 3. This one is super simple, okay? Play, okay? Play. I know when you hear play, you're like, oh, that sounds like something that's for like 6-year-olds. But I promise you it's not. Every single weekend, I do something where I'm like, oh, I'm going to go play, right? Maybe I'm playing with my dog because he's pretty cool. His name's Skippy or Jiff. They're really fun. I like playing with them. Or maybe like I love to rock climb, right? I'll go do that. Or I love to ride my bike. Find something you love to do that's a fun activity, right? Just have fun. That's something you should do this summer. You should have lots and lots of fun, right? That's what summer is for. Summer is for that because, you know, during the school year, you're in school for what, like 7:30 in the morning till like 3 in the afternoon, and then you got like homework on top of that. So like 9 or something hours of your day are just shot, right? Out the window, nothing to do. You just got to go do schoolwork and do all that stuff. And now you got summer, and you got all of these hours open. Make the most of it. Have so much fun. Play. Do things that are fun for you, right? And we're going to check out a proverb. So Proverbs, it's a book that comes after Psalms. And Proverbs, it's kind of like if God had like an X account and would just like tweet things out. And so these are like really wise things. So we're going to check out one of these in Proverbs 17. Check it out. It says, ready? This is going to be a quick one, so you got to be ready. Here we go. A heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones, right? A cheerful heart. What a cheerful heart is a joyful heart, right? Somebody who's having a good time, having fun, having cheer, right? They're cheerful, they're happy, they're having fun, they're joyful. It's good medicine. It helps you out in life, right? Have fun. That's what this verse is saying. It's saying have fun. Do things that bring joy to you, right? And what that looks like for everyone is a little bit different, right? I'm sure what you might like might not be what you like to do, right? Everybody likes to do different things. Maybe you like to play video games with your friends. Maybe you like to have Nerf wars. Maybe you like to have pool parties. Maybe you like to read. But do something to play, right? And this kind of goes back to the first one of like touch grass is like, man, we live in an awesome state where the weather is so nice. You can go outside, and outside is like a giant playground. Just go play. Have fun in it, right? Don't forget that you're a kid and that you're supposed to have fun, because eventually you won't be a kid and you'll be like, oh, I wish I would have played more when I was in 8th grade because I could have and it would have been awesome. So go have fun. Do things with your friends. Do all that stuff, which leads us right into point number 4 of how to have the best summer ever, and that is to be with people. Point number 4, be with people, okay? This one is huge because, man, I hear so often from middle schoolers when I'm talking to you guys that, like, sometimes I've been asking people about, like, what they're excited for summer, and some people have told me, oh, I'm not that excited because, you know, I'm just going to be at home, I'm going to be bored and alone all summer. I'm like, man, that's really hard. That's a bummer, right? Like, you should try and be with people. And I know sometimes that's out of your control. Maybe you're like, oh, my parents both work, and I don't live by any of my friends, so it's hard to be with people. I would challenge you, you know, get outside in your neighborhood. There's probably some other kids in your neighborhood. Maybe there's not, and you're like, man, this is a really hard one. But just try to be with people because people are so important, right? We love to be with people. We are social creatures. We enjoy being around other people. That's probably why all you guys are here tonight. Even if you're like, people are scary. I get it. People scare me too. People can be like really intimidating. But part of you knows you want to be with people, so you're here and you're trying to be around people. We're going to check out this verse in Ecclesiastes. Everybody say the word Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes. It's a big word. It's a weird word. All right, check it out. Here we go. Ecclesiastes 4. It says, here we go. You got to be ready. It's quick again. Here we go. 2 are than 1 because they have a good return on their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. What this verse is saying, be with people, right? Just like I just said, it's saying be around people. It's better to be with people than to be alone, right? If you're struggling with feeling lonely and feeling alone, here's a really good first step. Be with people, right? And I know that's easier said than done sometimes, but nothing is going to make your summer better than being with people, right? Whether you have your friends already or you're like, man, I need to make some friends, we will help you do that, right? You can come here and we can help you make some friends. You can go outside in your neighborhood and try and make some friends. I know it's scary, but it really just takes a few minutes of courage, and then you can make some friends, and you'll make your summer so much better. When I think back to that summer I was telling you guys about before 8th grade, really, I had good friends at school, but if I didn't have my friends in my neighborhood too, it wouldn't have been that memorable of a summer, because every single day, if I wasn't with my friends from school, I would just go out and hang out with the neighborhood kids, and we would do all kinds of things. We'd play basketball, go to the pool, go to Sonic, like I was saying. People are what will make your summer better, right? And there's another important aspect to that is people could also make your summer really bad, right? It depends on who you're hanging out with, because the reality is you are going to become like who you hang out with. You become like who you hang around, right? So if you're hanging around with a bunch of druggies all summer, then you're probably going to be tempted to do drugs this summer. And maybe that's something where you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. But if you spend a couple months hanging out with a bunch of people who are doing that, you're going to get tempted to do that, and that might be really hard. But if you're hanging out with a bunch of people who are really encouraging you, and they really like when you're, if they're really fun to be around and they make you feel good, they make you feel happy, and they make you feel joyful, and they're helping you do that cheerful thing we talked about, then man, that's going to be an awesome summer, right? If you're hanging out with people who are nice to you and who are kind, if you're hanging out with people who just tear you down all the time and make you feel like you don't matter and like you're not important and they make things worse, don't hang out with them. Hang out with people who are going to build you up, right? Another little weird statistic I saw was that 10 years ago, the average teenager or middle schooler, right? So the average person between 12 to 15 was the range, would spend about 2 hours a day with friends. 2 hours a day. Now in 2023, that number was down to just about 40 minutes a day. So less than half. So what that says is people aren't hanging out with people as much. So you should change that trend, and you should hang out with people. Be with people. That's what's going to make your summer count. The people you're around, okay? And now these things that we've been listing, they're not in a particular order or anything. They're all important, right? None one is more important than the other one. But this last one, I would argue, is the most important way. And if you only hear one thing tonight, just hear this last point, because I really think this could make your summer count. And this last one is to spend this summer investing in your faith, okay? Invest in your faith. And if you're like, what the heck does that mean? Because that sounds kind of weird. I'll tell you what it means, okay? So what faith is a faith is just a way to describe my belief in Jesus, right? If I say, oh, I have a faith, that means I'm saying, oh, I believe in Jesus, right? I have a relationship with Jesus. And if you're like, well, what does that mean? Jesus, right? If you've never heard of Jesus, he is who we believe is our Savior, right? He is God who came down to earth, was a human just like you and me, lived a whole life, right? He grew up, he was a little baby, then he grew up, he was a middle schooler at some point, he had puberty, he did all those things. And then when he was a little bit older, he started preaching, and he would go around and he would heal people, and he would make these miracles happen, right? He would multiply food. He would bring people back to life from the dead. He would heal the sick. He would let the blind see. He would do all these incredible things. And then he was preaching while he was doing this. He was preaching about who God is and how God wants us to love each other and to love him and to believe in him. And he was preaching about how we can have eternal life through him. And then he died on a cross, and then he died. And then he resurrected from the cross, and he resurrected, and he was living again. And he said that all you had to do to have a relationship with him is say that you believe in him and that you want to follow him, right? And that's what I mean when I say invest in your faith. Your faith is your belief that you have a relationship with Jesus, right? You believe in who Jesus is, and you believe that you want to get to know him better, right? That's all faith is. It's a very simple thing, but that's a kind of to catch you up to what that means. Invest in your faith. So to invest in your faith this summer, if you already say you follow Jesus, if you don't know who Jesus is, that would be where to start. Be curious about who Jesus is. Find out who he is. If you already know who Jesus is, then to invest in your faith is to prioritize that, right? I want to check out this verse real quick that talks about the importance of investing in your faith. So it's Matthew 6:33. Check this out. It says, ready? This one's quick too. Here we go. Seek his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. So in this verse, they're talking about a bunch of things that people want. He's like, look, here's what's most important. First, seek his kingdom and his righteousness. He's saying, seek after Jesus. Seek after Jesus. So invest in your faith. Prioritize your faith, right? If you don't remember anything else, just remember this summer, if you want it to be a good summer, take some time to invest in your faith. Now, what that looks like could be very different for all of you, right? I would say a great way to do it would be maybe spending a little bit of time reading the Bible, right? If you've never had one of these or you want one of these, I can get you one. But it's It's a lot of stories about, a lot of it's about what Jesus did while he was here. A lot of it's about who God is. And it's the story that helps us get to know God, right? And it's all true. So that'd be a great way. Or you could come to youth group, right? We're here every single week, all summer long, every Wednesday night, 6:30 to 8. Come here, and that could be a way to invest in your faith. We're also here on Sunday mornings. You could do that. Also in the summer, we go to the park on Tuesdays, to O'Brien Park from 2:30 to 4. You could come and do that. That'd be a way to invest in your faith and to do some of those other things too. There's lots of options. I think even going to summer camp could be a huge way to invest in your faith, because what that is we take 4 days where we just focus on God, right? Literally, we just set aside those 4 days and we're like, you know what? We are going to focus these next 4 days on our relationships with God, on growing them, on focusing on them. And maybe you're like, you know what? I can't do that. I can't go to Garage. I can't go to summer camp. I'm going to be in Florida all summer. There's still ways you can invest in your faith, whether it's reading your Bible, whether it's listening to worship music. Maybe it's doing those other things of like, hey, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go on a walk and I'm going to spend some time praying while I go on this walk, right? I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be in nature and enjoy the things. Maybe it's writing down things you're grateful for. Just do something, right? Something to water your faith, right? If you think about your faith as like a little plant, okay? A little plant, whatever kind of plant you like. Could be an apple tree, could be a, I don't know, cactus, whatever plant you like. The reality is a plant isn't going to grow unless you water it, right? So this summer, spend a little bit of time watering that plant of your faith, your relationship with Jesus. Water that plant and it'll start to grow, right? Start to do those things. So we're going to close out here in a song of worship in a second here. And while we're in that song of worship, I want you to kind of be thinking about some of those things, especially like, what could you do this summer to invest in your faith? What could you do to make it a great summer? Okay, and I have this thing I was thinking about earlier when I was thinking about this message. So I went to Cimarron Middle School. Did any of you guys go to Cimarron? Yeah. Okay, so at Cimarron, there was this principal. Her name was Miss Tarbell, and there's a different principal now. But she would do the announcements every morning, and every single day she would enter announcements saying the same thing. She would say, make it a great day or not. The choice is always yours. Okay, she'd say that every single day. And something I just remembered because I heard it for 3 years, right? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, the same thing is true for this summer. It's make it a great summer or not. The choice is yours, right? How are you going to make it a great summer? What are you going to do to make it a great summer? What are you going to do this summer to invest in your faith? So we're going to close in prayer, and then we're going to spend some time in worship here. And I want you to just think about, while we're worshiping, maybe don't go crazy running around the room. Just take some time to reflect, to praise God, to thank him for who he is, and to think about how you could invest in your faith this summer. So pray with me. Dear Lord, thank you for this night. Thank you for everyone who's in this room right now. Thank you for just that we're able to come together and praise you and play a lot of fun games and just learn about you. We're so excited for summer. We know it's almost here, and we're expecting for it to just be a really fun summer, an awesome summer, and also for us to just be able to spend some time just getting closer to you, just learning how to follow you better, learning how to just chase after you. And we pray that you would just help us to all grow closer to you this summer and just teach us how to follow you, Jesus. We pray this all, and everybody said,
I taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. Oh, you say I love when I can't feel a thing. And you say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours. And I believe what you say of me. I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I
Guys, real quick before you go, a couple things we say every single week. You are loved and prayed for, and you are accepted here at Garage just the way you are. I hope you all have a great night. I hope to see you next Wednesday. Is the 8th graders' last Wednesday with us next Wednesday, so we will celebrate them. Have a great night, guys. We will see you soon. Bye.